Hello everybody, I just wanted to introduce myself again. My name is Debbie Pollock. I am from Lummi Island, Washington, and I'm going to be creating a video today to just entertain you at home, give you something to do if you're bored, get a little bit creative. I have paint all over my hands because I previously did a rock. We're going to do a design like this. I'll be adding a few more dots to it. I wanted to let this one dry so I could show you how to top dot at the end. So if you like these videos, if you like this video in particular, please give it a thumbs up, thumbs up, so that YouTube will know you like it and other people can find it also. And if you want to make comments in the bottom, that would be great. I'll try to have a space for you to write comments if you'd like. If you have questions or ideas for new things you'd like me to do. So I'm going to take this plain ordinary rock that I found on the beach on Lummi Island, which is a great island. And the first dot we're going to do, I've got 4 different sizes of nails that have different size heads. So children, if you're watching this, please make sure your parents say it's okay for you to play with nails. That's the first thing. Anyway, so in order they look about like this. And obviously I've already practiced with that other rock, so they work great. And I'm using 1 toothpick. So this is not very expensive to do rock painting. I picked out 6 different colors to use for this rock. It's a white. This one is my apple barrel snow white. I've got a blue, which is the bright blue, same company. I've got what they call velvet crush. It's a purple tone in apple barrel. And the last apple barrel I'm using at this moment is the lime tree. That's the lime colored. In the turquoise family, it's called Ocean Breeze by Craft Smart. And then I'm using one multi-surface from Folk Art in the dark green, which sets up much, it's called Classic Green, and it sets up a little bit heavier. It's a little bit thicker, so the other ones lay down more. But you're welcome to use any colors you have on hand. Nail polish can be used. Protect your surface, protect yourself. If you get any on your clothes, especially nail polish, forget the nail polish getting on your clothes. But if you get acrylic paint, just wash it immediately. It gets on your hands, it's not a problem. It will come right off with soap and water. A good washing of your hands will come off easily. Take it off your clothes immediately if you get it on your clothes. I'm going to start with the largest nail size. I just dropped it. Here we go, the largest nail head size. And I'm going to dip that into the white. And I'm going to place it in the center of the stone. And that's right about there. And I'm just going to go straight up and straight down. So I place it straight up and straight down in the paint, and then I place it straight up and straight down on the rock. And the next thing I'm going to add is the smallest size nail head of the 4 that I have. And I'm going to use the turquoise color. I'm going to dip it into the paint, so I think you can see that. And then I'm going to put it on one side of that larger dot. And then I'm going to go across from it. So the first thing I try to create is a plus sign. Then I'm going to go to each side. Okay. Then I'm going to dot in between each one of those. I'm going to create a plus sign again, but in between the other dots I've already created. So the point of these videos is really the series I'm doing right now, just starting with YouTube, and that's just to give you something fun to do that's simple, doesn't cost a lot of money, and you can do it from your home. You can order these paints online, all the different brands that I'm using today, and almost any brand. Acrylic paint is what it is. You can get that on Amazon or one of the other sources. But if you have it around the house, feel free to use what you've got. It doesn't have to be the same colors I'm using. I'm taking the medium size nail head now, and I'm going to use the dark blue for that, which is called bright blue. And I'm going to put a dot of that in between each one of those turquoise dots. So this is my second to largest nail head that I'm using today. And this is my third attempt at creating a video during the coronavirus outbreak with using objects you can just find around your house. So I redotted that one because I want to make it a little bit larger to make it match the others. So dip it straight into the paint and then straight down onto the rock and you get a dot. If you put about the same amount of paint on each one, you get about the same size dot, although it seems like as I'm using the paint out of the container, it's coming out smaller each one. I'm going to add a little bit to two of those. This one needs to be a little bit bigger, and this one could be a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to wipe off the paint on a paper towel I have sitting over here on the side just to get the nail head slightly clean. And the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to take the lime green with the smallest nail head size that I have. That's the one I've already used for the turquoise. And I'm going to use that same size dot with the lime green, and I'm going to place a dot in between each one of those larger dots that I just made. It can touch the other dot, preferably it's just right up next to it, but you want to kind of put it to where it kind of fills the void right there. So straight into the paint and straight onto the stone. Okay, I'm going to wipe that off. And the next thing I'm going to do is get a turquoise with the same size nail head again. It's the smallest nail head of the four that I chose. And I'm going to use the turquoise for the end of each one of these blue dots. So the way I do it is I kind of line it up with, in my mind's eye, just basically kind of straight line to the end of that dot and place a new dot down. And some people dot, like I'm doing for the camera right now, away from themselves, and some people dot like this where it's facing them. So whatever works best for you, whatever your comfort level is fine. There is no right or wrong on that. Okay, now I'm going to take the purple with the largest nail head again, and I'm going to take that and dip it into the purple, and then right at the end between the two turquoise and right at the end of the green, I'm going to place a purple dot. Now the rock is not perfect. It's got lines and dips. That was a crack I just painted into. It just creates a little bit more interest. If you're looking for perfection, this is the wrong hobby because it's art and it's fun and it is man-made, handmade, not machine-made. There's no computer involved in this art, so it's other than I am recording this on an iPhone. But it is simply for fun, and if it's not perfect, it's just all part of the nature of the art. And nature's included in the art with the natural stone. So there goes the purple. Now I'm going to take the smallest nail head again. I've been using this one a lot. And I'm going to dip it into the lime green again. And I'm going to put a dot on the other side, opposite from the other green dot I already put on the end of each one of those purple dots. I'm trying to create something colorful, bright, pretty, and easy so you can follow along well, and also to create a happy mood. Everybody's been a little concerned about things, and rightly so. We've lost a lot of people, and we don't want that to be the focus today. We want this to be just feeling good. Now I'm going to take the toothpick, which I haven't used yet, and I'm going to use the white, and I'm going to go around the large dot on the outside. I start right next to the 2 dots I created and dot around the outside. Your toothpick will hold different amounts of paint depending on the brand it is, or how the point is, whether the point is pointy or not. So you decide how large you want your little dots to go. But just something so you can see it. You want them to be fairly even inside. If they get a little smaller on the inside, I kind of like that look, so I kind of let the paint run off. Called walking the dots. I call it walking the dots. I'm sure there's other terms used for that. So I put a few dots in to make these outside dots fairly even in size, and then just go ahead and finish off towards the inside. I hope you can see this okay. I'm trying to hold it up so you can. Just creates a nice bright outline around, almost frames that dot, and it changes the look. It was these little dots that first attracted me to this art form, and I took a class on dot painting, but that was after I had already discovered that I love the look of it. So now with these classes online, it makes it super easy for everybody to be able to do this. Continuing on. I have many pieces of art in my studio, and some of them are in my Etsy store, and that's under Creekside Art Studio for you on Etsy. You're welcome to go in there and find more art from me. More of my dotted rocks. I also do mosaics, so you'll see mosaics in there also. I haven't started a video on mosaics because that's kind of requires a lot of tools and a lot of products, and it might not be things you have around the house. So until we're able to go outside and go shopping for non-necessary items, I'm going to keep the mosaic videos on hold, I think, and just do the dot painting, because that's something you can pick up a rock outside. You can pick up paint from almost anywhere, or nail polish if you need to. And toothpicks and nails are fairly easy to use. I'm concentrating so far on tools I have that you can have around the house already, that you don't have to go out and spend money for. So many people are trying to hold on to their money right now, so I'm hoping to try to make that a little easier for you. So you can see that I'm not doing it perfectly, because the point is that your eye will make it come together better. I'm not counting how many dots I'm putting on each side. Ideally, if I were doing this for my intricate work, I do try to make it more even, but this is just to appeal to your senses and to give you something new. That's something new to try. That's just fun. And please forgive my video expertise, which is lacking dearly. I am new to making videos for people, so I hope you can still enjoy it. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add that dark green in, the smallest nail size nail head. The dark green, I'm going to dip it in, and I'm just going to add a little dot of that right in line, making kind of a straight line from the center white dot, and above that, what I used as turquoise, in between the larger dots. I have to tell you, the nails are a little bit hard to hold because they're so short and small, but just place a little dot next to the other one. One This is an 8-point mandala is how I call it because it's just got 8 is the number I'm using for almost everything. Okay, so then same size nail head, I'm going to take the white and dip it in and go just a little extension on that line one more time. I haven't taught you how to mix colors yet, but if you ever want to lighten the color up, you can add white to it and mix it together. So the only tools I'm using for this are my little palette, some paper towels. Protect your tabletop, please. Protect your clothing if you need to. I'm using 4 little nails and a toothpick to create this design. So you can see it doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes a little bit of time. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to start doing some dots on top of other dots. And you want to make sure that your original dot is dry. Well, I already did some of the ones I'm going to do. You can pick your own colors, but these are some of the ones I'm going to add still to the purple, but that hasn't dried yet. So my little turquoise ones look like they're just about dry. So I'm going to add some color to those. And I'm going to take the toothpick and the dark blue, and I'm going to add top dots on top of these little turquoise ones. So I'm dipping it into the paint, and I try to find the center of that dot, and I create a little dot in the center. It wasn't completely dry, so it's giving me a little bit of a problem, but not much. There. Just lightly touch, try to find the center, and then let your toothpick touch down in the center. There you go. You don't have to add the top dots. If you're happy with the way it looks right now, you don't have to add anything else. But you can kind of see what the before and after looks like if I show you. This is the same exact rock, just, I mean, a little bit different in color and size, but basically the same design. I want to do it so you can see it with the top dots and then as I add the dots. You can let this dry for a bit and come back to the video to finish it up. The next thing I'm going to do is take the smallest nail head size, and let's see, my blue ones aren't dry enough. No, I can't do that yet. I'm trying to see which ones I can still do. Let me add white dots onto the little green. So the green that's on the very, very end, I'm going to add white. Put it in the toothpick and put a little center dot right in the center of each one of those green. I used the color green, whatever color you chose for the end. It just highlights it a little bit. Again, I have paint all over my hands. This is just from painting these 2 rocks. It never fails that I end up with paint all over me, and don't worry about it. It will just wash off with soap and water off of your hands. You might want to wear something to protect your clothing, an apron or something you don't really care about, one of your play clothes, something like that. Okay, another dot I would like to add now that I can do, I think, is I would like to add the dark green on top of that light green right there. So I'm going to get a little dip of the toothpick into the dark green, and I'm going to add it into each one of my little light greens. You'll notice that the smaller the dot is on the bottom, the quicker it dries. There's less paint, and the larger dots take a little bit longer to dry. So I quit my top dotting earlier on the other rocks. I don't have these dark green dots on that one yet, so I can show you what it looks like with it and without it in a moment. Okay, so this is when I didn't dot the dark green on this one, and then this one I just added extra dots. I like it with it, but I'll probably go back and do that to the other one so they'll be exactly the same. I'm still waiting for these blue dots in the center to dry on this one, but you can see I put lime green on that. And then I want to go ahead and add white on top of that. So this is going to be a triple top dot. So it's the one top dot on top of another top dot, which is on top of the original dot. And I'm just going to add a little white dot onto that. Right in the center. If this rock were dry already, I would be doing it on that one, but I thought we would just, for the sake of saving some time, I would do it on 2 rocks. When they're dry, I will show you. It is handy to, I made a little bit of a mistake there, and I can wipe a little bit off the other end of the toothpick, the dry end, to correct my mistake. Feel free to know that I make mistakes every time I paint. Not every time, but most often. And I usually keep Q-tips around, which I have on hand here if I need them. Okay, then the other thing I wanted to add for this one, which I hadn't done yet, so this one has extra dark green dots. I want to go ahead and put that on this one too, so I'll go ahead and show you that. I really like that look. And that's on top of the little lime green. On mine it's lime green. I'm so sorry. I know you can use any colors you want. I keep saying that and then I keep telling you what color I'm using, but you can see at least which dot I'm enhancing here. So by describing it by color, it seems to make it a little bit easier to understand, I think. But please use whatever colors you have on hand. Okay, so now they're caught up, except for this one doesn't have the dots on the blue, the dark blue in the center, because it's still drying. And the purple dots on this one are still a little bit wet. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one to do what the next step is. I was trying to decide if I liked, I'm going to take the smallest of the 4 nail heads, and whether I like, or no, I'll take the second to the smallest size, whether I want the green or the turquoise. I wish I had time to let you vote. I think I'm going to go with the green. So I'm taking the lime green, placing the nail head down in it, and then placing it on top of the purple dot and creating that kind of a look. There we go. So just down and as flat onto the stone as you can. You want to make sure that you leave some of your bottom dots showing around the edges because it creates a really pretty effect, I think. So it changes the look. It's exactly the same stone almost now. I mean, I have a few more dots on one than the other, but you can change the design so simply just by adding another layer of color to your dots. So I guess I would do one more thing. I think I want to use the dark blue again, which I haven't used again since that center section, and then the dots right there. I think I'm going to add one more dot on the end of these little green dots right here. Watch. Dip it into the toothpick, add one dot right on the end. I'm going to do it on each one of the green. This one I can't see from far away. I'll have to put it towards me to see it. It's so far over the edge of this rock. That one you can see. This is just to add another little aspect. You can do it or not do it. I just think it adds a little something to it. I sometimes like to use my same colors over and over again. Okay. So there, that's it. If you want to add more, you can. I think it's pretty as it is. This one's also pretty. It doesn't really need anything else unless you want it to have more. It's very simple. This one's a little bit more intricate. Believe it or not, these are basically from the same bottom design, and I just added a lot of top dots onto this one and only a few top dots onto this one. Other than that, they're very similar. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to put a thumbs up on the YouTube, and also subscribe to my channel. I can make more videos for you. If people know you're liking them, please share it. That would be so great. You can send this to schools or school students. You can send it to teachers to let them, everybody's free to share this. Feel free to share it. I would enjoy it if you would. And I hope you liked it. Again, you can come to Creekside Art Studio on Etsy. Creekside Art Studio for you on Etsy. I have, this is one of the rocks I have in my Etsy store. It's been resined already at the end. I don't think, I have this one also in my Etsy store right now if you want to see that one. I have another example of a crazy design that I did with lots of colors, and I added some crystals on it. Also been resin. That's what the shine is all about. There's a heart that I did. I'm just trying to give you some examples of things I've done. Not all of these are in my Etsy store yet, but this is just a very colorful rainbow heart. And then this is something I haven't even finished yet, but I'm working on this one right now. I was going to do something with the frame. So please, you're welcome to come back anytime, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you again. Bye-bye.